Hey everybody, Jason here. It's Monday, October 11th, 2021. And for those that are in debt and already having trouble keeping up with the rising cost of living, well, more not so good news is coming out here. Let's talk real quick about the markets though. Dow Jones down 250 points today. You would think with all the bad news coming out that this market would have collapsed by now, but we know that a long time ago, this market completely detached from reality. And I pointed this out before. I think most of you know that it's no secret and it's actually no coincidence that when debt gets accumulated like we're seeing it now, when the Fed balance sheet explodes, markets go higher. And then there's some people still scratching their heads trying to figure this whole thing out. Why are the markets going up when the middle class is being wiped out? When inflation is punishing the working class? When the majority of the population is already in debt? Getting further into debt now, and prices for just about everything continue to rise. Why are the markets not correcting with that? Well, it's because the printing press is working for the markets. It's not working for you, the average person, the average working person here in the United States. Right? Of course, once people get into trouble because the cost of living is beyond what most people can afford, once people get into trouble, then the money printers are looked at as the fire people putting out the fire, right? As the rescuers to come in and save everybody. Oh, look at this rescue package. We're going to help you on your rent. We're going to help you on your utility bills. In the meantime, we see the money being handed out and getting lost and getting stolen. And all these people getting the money that really shouldn't get the money. It's a huge mess. Right? So the people in charge of cleaning up the mess are the same people that created the mess. But yet people are out there still thinking these same people are going to fix these problems, that things are not going to continue to get worse. Well, let's take a look at some information today. Crude oil 7-year high. We see this right here. It actually touched about $82 today before dropping back down some, but $82 oil. Expect your gas tank fill-ups to get more expensive. How many people, again, most people in debt, how many people can afford higher energy costs, higher fuel costs? Well, it's going to continue to rise. I don't see anything that's going to be pulling the price of oil down anytime soon. We're seeing credit card debt go back up. We saw the biggest leap, the biggest rise in credit card debt in one quarter that we saw in history just here recently. That happened, and that's going to continue to get worse. New York has $150 million set aside to pay low-income households late utility bills. So we still have millions of people across the country, including a lot in New York, and everywhere you look, people are behind on payments. They need assistance programs. Evictions are starting to pick up with some of the moratoriums ending in some areas. And this is going to be a kind of a slow motion, a decimation of the working class, of the middle class, and especially the poor and the people in poverty are going to see the brunt of this plan, this monetary system where it helps the top 10% mostly and the bottom 90%, well, look out below. But don't worry, if you can't afford things, just go out and take out a bigger loan, right? Here's an article here, credible.com, how to get a mortgage with a 600 credit score. Let's take a look at where energy prices are headed here, and this ties in with the water shortage. Because of the drought, hydropower on decline, so now we have the drought that's going to add to the energy issues, and we're on a flex warning out here in California pretty much every summer. And the electric companies are always looking for reasons to increase the bill, to raise the prices, and this is going to give them another excuse because of now the reduction in the hydropower. But let's take a look at what else is happening out here out west because of the water shortage. Here's a picture of Lake Powell, and you see how low it is compared to the old waterlands that you see along the coast. Farmers are now being paid not to use water. So with food prices rising at the fastest we've ever seen prices go up, now add on top of this, farmers are being paid not to grow food in order to save water. And I pulled this one out of Yahoo Finance. The water has been temporarily shut off on a portion of the Robinson's land. This is a farmer. In exchange, he's receiving $909 this year for each acre of farmland left dry and unplanted. So yes, we're paying farmers not to grow food. So anyone that thinks that the food prices are going to start coming down or leveling off, how is that going to happen when you see things like this happening with farmers being paid to not grow food? You see, when you have an unlimited printing press, you can do things like this. You can just pay people not to grow food. You can fund all these rescue programs. You can endlessly prop up the markets. You can endlessly prop up and bail out the banks so they can keep loaning out money to keep putting people further in debt, to keep prices going higher and higher and higher. Does anyone not see the game here? What's happening, folks? This is a big Ponzi scheme. Speaking of Ponzi schemes, they're still threatening that seniors are going to get their Social Security checks cut off, and it's a lot of people on Social Security. And a lot of these people also are like most of the population. They live paycheck to paycheck. They're in debt. And they're not going to last very long if these checks stop going out. So why are the threats being put out there? And it's interesting. You pay into these programs your whole life, and you always just take it for granted that these programs are always going to be there. But yet when it comes to a question about the debt ceiling, that's the first thing that they hold out there. They don't say, no, we're not going to prop up the banks. We're not going to continue to bail out Wall Street. They never talk about that. But the checks to the people, the retired people, the senior citizens, those are the things, those are the checks that they talk about holding back first. And here's another article out today. The debt limit could delay Social Security benefits. Yes, there has been a short-term agreement on the debt ceiling, and they're looking to get rid of the debt ceiling. But isn't it always funny how they always bring back the checks to the people, and the people that need it the most? Nearly 50 million seniors could stop receiving Social Security benefits or receive them delayed. In the meantime, the Fed's printing oceans of money, and they're bent on keeping prices rising. No deflation allowed. A cost of living that people can actually afford, the average person not allowed. It's all about the inflation, rising prices. You could have a lot of seniors in trouble. Hopefully nobody in your family or any friends of yours. Keep preparing, folks. This thing's going to continue to get worse, and it's happening in slow motion, like I said earlier, so it's not that noticeable. You're not going to see 10 million people homeless overnight, but as time continues, expect more tents popping up, more people just not able to hang in there with this situation, with this monetary system and this rising cost of living. That's what it all comes down to. Most people can't afford what's happening, and it's just continuing to get worse. Keep stacking, people. Stay well. Stay safe. Stay prepared. See y'all soon. Bye for now. Peace.